In this video, I'm going to teach you how to go ahead and get started. First, you're going to do tabby weaving right in through here. You want to do about at least 1 inch of tabby weaving. When you choose your yarn, make sure your yarn is nice and long. I suggest maybe a piece of yarn from the floor as tall as your body as you raise your hand above your head. And that's a good probably length to start with. I've chosen black because it'll hopefully show up nice and clearly. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the end and I'm going to start the end and put a tail somewhere kind of in the middle. And now it doesn't really matter where. So I'm going to take the tail and I'm going to tuck the tail in the back. Then I'm going to find the other side. Now this yarn tends to unravel very quickly and can get really knotted. So to keep that from happening, I highly suggest that you knot one end. To do this, you'll make a cross, pinch where it overlaps, and then take your tail, putting it underneath and through the loop, and then you'll pull. This will make a knot at the end. It'll keep your weaving from your yarn from kind of pulling apart, and now you have a knot to kind of hold on to for weaving purposes. So first, well, now that you have the tail in between your two warp threads, somewhere in the middle or towards the end, doesn't really matter, you're going to decide, are you going to start going over or under, and you're going to go across. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started here. Now when you do this, you need to make sure that you pull. Don't pull so hard that this tail ends up unraveling and comes out. So we want to make sure you don't pull too hard. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to weave back. Notice this black yarn is on top of the green thread or the white thread. I think you might have white. And so we're going to go under. So the opposite direction going back. Now I've seen some students do this, where they've pulled this and then they start weaving back this way again. There's a problem with this, and I would like for you to just take a minute and see if you can't figure out what the problem is. If you said that I still have yarn over here, you are correct. What some students forget to do is they forget to pull this yarn all the way over so that the yarn, your weft yarn, comes and actually lightly loops around here. We don't want any large loops left behind. And then we can pull this down. Now I can continue weaving. And I would take this and I would weave back and forth and back and forth. Now if you're weaving with 2 pieces of yarn as your starting warp or starting weft thread for your tabby weave, all you'd have to do is when you first get your yarn, and I have another color here too to show you this. So let's hypothetically say that you are starting off and you want to weave 2 pieces of yarn together for your tabby weave, your 1 inch tabby weave. I'm going to take those 2 colors that you've chosen, put them together. I will cross them, put the tails underneath, and pull to create my knot. And I would do the same thing, tuck the tails in the back and then weave. Now because of time, and I don't want to take up too much more video time, we're going to pretend that my tabby weave is complete. My 1 inch tabby weave is complete. And let's say that your next color is, whatever your next color is above your tabby weave is green. So I'm going to take this yarn and I'm just going to cut this right here. And I'm going to take that green yarn, I'm going to tie it, put it with the ends so the tails match. Not, when I say tails, I'm not talking the tail that we started with down here, I'm talking with whatever end I'm finishing with, or that's the last one that I've woven with. I'm going to take this, I'm going to again make a loop, pinch, put the tails behind and through the opening, and then pull. Now I'm going to keep on weaving. This green yarn is a brand new piece of yarn. So again, to keep up here, this end from unraveling, I want to tie a knot. The black is going over, so I'm going to start under. And you'll see what's going to happen as I pull this through. Wherever the black stops, there you're going to see the knot where I tied the two together, so there you can see it coming through. So you're going to pull this over. Wherever this knot ends, you're just going to continue. The knot, you'll just tuck it behind. The tails with that knot are going to get tucked behind, and then you're going to just continue to weave. And this will be your change of color. Now some of you are using multiple colors at a time, maybe on this row where you might have a diagonal, or you might have a block, or you might have a slit, or icicle. So if you are using more than one piece of yarn at this stage of the game for your next section, then you need to go in and you need to watch the videos showing you whichever technique that you're going to be working on next. So that's how you get started on your weaving. Have fun, good luck!